climbers, it's Miss Erin and Mr. Brian reporting to you from Facebook Live in Zach's Treehouse on May 31st, 2020.
We're interrupting your current water gun fight to bring you this week's news. This is our last week of our theme, Unstuck, Don't Give Up.
And that means it's also our last lesson on determination. And determination is deciding it's worth it to finish what you started. Today is mine and Mr. Brian's 17th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you too, Miss Erin.
Thank you. We've had to have a lot of determination to make it this far as husband and wife and as parents.
Yes, we have, Miss Erin. God's helped us through a lot of sticky situations. Speaking of which, the Ubelacker family will lead our game today. It's called Sticky Notes. Out to you, Ubelacker family.
Thanks, Brian and Erin. Sometimes it can be really hard to finish what we've started. We get into sticky situations, and it's tough to push through. The good news is God can help us get unstuck. He can give us the strength we need to see things through until the very end. Your job is to cover your teammate. Faith, you're going to cover Adam. In these sticky notes that I have right here. We'll stick only one note on at a time on his back, his arms, and his legs. So our arms, our backs, and our legs. When time is up, we'll see how many sticky notes actually stuck to Adam. On your mark, get set, go! A bunch of sticky notes. Faith got 26 on Adam and Adam got 20 on Faith. Can any of you guys beat that number? Brian and Erin, back to you.
Thanks, Miss Erin. These sticky notes are stuck to me like I'm stuck on you.
Well, aren't you sweet? Let's get to our story. We talked last week about a man named Stephen who was part of a group of leaders who taught others about Jesus. Sadly, Stephen was killed by a group of religious leaders who did not agree with him.
After Stephen was killed, the religious leaders led by a young man named Saul became even bolder in hunting down people who followed Jesus.
There was a man named Philip who was a friend of Stephen's. Philip was also a part of the same special group of leaders that were teaching new believers about Jesus. Saul and the other religious leaders were on the lookout for people who followed Jesus.
Many of the new believers left Jerusalem and scattered, but everywhere they went, they continued to tell others about Jesus, including Philip. I'm going to send this story out to a new correspondent, Karen. She'll get this story, shall we say, moving. Out to you, Karen.
Thanks, Brian and Erin. Do you guys know what a WOD is? A WOD is the workout of the day, and I'm going to put you through a workout while we talk about this story today. Well, the disciples scattered all over Jerusalem, including Philip. But one day, a special angel appeared to Philip and gave him specific directions. He said, "You need to walk down this road from Jerusalem to Gaza. You need to walk down the road. So everybody on your feet and start walking." As Philip continued on his way, he met an important Ethiopian official. The man was in charge of all the wealth of the Queen of Ethiopia. He had traveled all the way to Jerusalem to worship God, and now he was on his way home. As he sat in his chariot, he was reading scriptures that had been written by the prophet Isaiah. The Holy Spirit told Philip to catch up to the chariot and stay near it. Let's pick up the pace and jog like Philip. Philip finally reached the chariot and ran along beside it. He heard the man reading Isaiah's words. Philip asked him if he understood what he was reading. The official said he needed someone to explain it to him, and he invited Philip to sit with him. Whew, that's our cue, everyone. We can slow down and have a seat. The official read Acts 8:32 through 33. He was like a sheep to be killed. Just as lambs are silent while their wool is being cut off, he did not open his mouth. When he was treated badly, he was refused a fair trial. Who can say anything about his children? His life was cut off from the earth. The Ethiopian official had some big questions for Philip. He asked Philip who Isaiah was talking about. Was Isaiah talking about himself or someone else? Philip was able to tell this man the good news about Jesus, the one God had sent to rescue us. He explained how Jesus gave his life for each of us and was raised to life again. Philip and the official continued to talk about Jesus as they traveled along the road. Suddenly, they came to some water. When the official saw the water, he gave the order to stop the chariot. He asked, "What can stop me from being baptized?" The answer was nothing. After all, the official believed what Philip had told him about Jesus. Philip and the man got out of the chariot, and Philip baptized the man in the water. Both Philip and the Ethiopian official continued to be faithful even though they had questions. At first, Philip didn't know why God had him walking down the road to Gaza. The Ethiopian official didn't know why God had him reading from the book of Isaiah, but he brought them together through his Holy Spirit so they could figure everything out. These men didn't always have the answers, but they kept going. The story of Jesus continued to spread because of their determination. We don't always know the answers either, but God's truth is worth searching for. Brian and Aaron, back to you.
Even the really important Ethiopian official didn't understand what he was reading about God. But he didn't stop reading, and he didn't stop asking questions either. He asked Philip to help him understand.
It's good for us to ask questions too. You're making the wise choice when you ask questions about God. If you don't understand, ask someone, your mom or dad, me or Mr. Brian, or an adult you trust that follows God.
But here's what's super important about those questions, guys. Don't let what you don't understand keep you from having a relationship with God. Even when you don't understand something, you still can choose to keep going.
Our bottom line today is keep going even when you have questions.
That's right, Miss Aaron. And you know what, guys? You've done a great job learning about determination this month. We hope it helped you get unstuck from plenty of sticky situations.
That's right. We'll be back next month with a new life app and a new memory verse. Don't forget to sign up for VBS. And until then, stay safe, Sycamore Tree.